All right. Hey, welcome to the Private Money Club, what we call the Performance Investing Preview event. What we're doing here is if you're new to Private Money Club, first off, welcome. Private Money Club, PMC, is a community of real estate investors, people that have opportunities, have deals, and they're looking to do more of that. And the way to scale a business in most cases is to get more money. And at some point, banks cut you off, hard money. That's where people turn to what's called private money. So PMC is a community of investors, borrowers that need money. And the other side of that coin, the other half of the community in Private Money Club are people that have money and they're looking to invest. They're looking to lend, private money lend on these deals, opportunities, ultimately become the bank. And that's what the BYOB, becoming your own banker, is all about, is mimicking what banks do. As we know, banks give out mortgages, banks do money lending, and that's exactly what private money lending is in its essence. And so PMC is the platform that brings these people together, and part of that platform, part of that community is education. How do we not only lend money, ask for the money, how do we do more deals, how do we actively invest in real estate, and how do we bring all this money together safely, securely, and make sure that everything is done the right way. What tonight's going to be is some education on the active side of that coin, of the active side of real estate investing. So how do we go out there and we market, we find deals? How do we put the numbers together to make sure that these deals make sense? How do we go out there and buy, get into flips, do wholesale deals, turn these things into rental properties? And so what we've done is we have a few different coaches within Private Money Club community, and that's what they do, is they teach our Private Money Club members how to do more deals, how to do this stuff the right way. And one of those coaches is Mike Pugliese. So Mike Pugliese, I've known for well over a decade now. We've trained side by side. We spoke on stage together. We've worked together. We've done business together. We've done real estate together. And so Mike and Mike's partners, they do a lot of active real estate. They own a lot of rental properties. They have a property management company. They do a lot of wholesale. They do a lot of flips. And so Mike not only lives and breathes this every single day, but Mike also loves to train and teach and share with others how it's done. And so that's where Mike has come into PMC and said, hey, anybody that wants to learn how to do this the right way, let me teach them. We'll go out there in the field. We'll go out there, walk into actual properties. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to start introducing you to what Mike does every single day in his business, how they're analyzing deals, how they're putting the numbers together to make sure it makes sense. And we're going to start showing you guys tonight exactly how that's done. So with that being said, Mike, thanks for being here. And I'm looking forward to this training that you put together for this group tonight.
Absolutely, Stephen. I am so happy to be here, and it's a pleasure. I'm going to share my screen and open up my presentation here. It's to see all the members at the Private Money Club I've met, and the people over I think we've been involved for a year now. It's been such a great experience. I mean, one, we've grown our business through the Private Money Club, which has been a bonus. And then to help people get started in real estate and help them, even just analyze a deal better or feel more comfortable about even lending out their money so they understand both sides of how that actually work, has been really, really great. And we've been investing in real estate for over the last 5 years. My business partner his name is Mike. Of course, I'm the better looking one. But one of the main things, and one of the biggest things I've learned about real estate over the last 15 years is real estate is about building good relationships. I think that is the key to real estate, and almost any business you're in, is how you can build good relationships. And that's one thing I love about the Private Money Club, is the relationships that I've seen built, that we've built, and just continue to build with people throughout the organization and new people that are coming on. So I'm really excited to be here tonight, kind of share what we do. I put this little presentation together. It's nothing fancy. It's just going to explain, hey, we're going to go over, some opportunities you have out there. We're going to analyze a live deal. This is one we actually have under contract right now. And it'll be one that some of the students maybe have an opportunity to walk with us and actually look at the property from top to bottom and estimate repairs. But we're going to go through just how I analyze this deal, why we're doing it, some of the ins and outs. We're going to talk about some things of how we find good contractors, and, different sides of the business, and how people can get involved, no matter if you want to be on the active side or the passive side, and how that actually, how that can happen. So one of the things I love to do is I love to do this little quiz, and it's an investor quiz, and is there risk involved in real estate? Well, we know that no risk, no reward, right? Second question is, hey, how much money can I lose? Well, all of it and then some. And we have definitely seen that probably back in 2008, 2007, when the market did crash, and a lot of people lost money. If I think if you talk to a real estate investor and they said they've never lost money, well, I don't think they've been investing long enough, right? Because we've all taken a loss, maybe not financially, but maybe we lost on a deal because we didn't sell it for high enough, or repairs went above what it should have been. We lost some profit. I have personally lost money in real estate, and I've learned from those experiences. And the third question is, how do we manage the risk? That's a great question. How do we manage risk in real estate? And it's one of those things that, because you can never be too careful. How do you analyze the deal? How do you know it's a good deal? Well, talking to other people, and I always ask this question, how do you manage risk? One of the top responses we get from people is just financial education, getting more educated on real estate, getting more educated how to do a deal, what that actually looks like. Even if you've never done a deal before, you've done 100, the more education you can get, the better. And I was listening to a podcast today, and the gentleman said, high level entrepreneur, into the 10 figures. He said, listen, the more education you get, the better. It's the one thing you should invest in first, or anytime in your business, is just more education. And I couldn't agree with that more. So I'm sure you guys have seen those TV shows on Flip This House or other TV shows, and or you've been driving down the road and you see this property and you're like, wow, look at that property. Seems pretty easy. Man, I think we can buy that property, throw some paint on the walls, and put some new floors down, new cabinets, and we'll make a quick 30 grand. Is it really that easy? Sounds easy. They make it look real easy on TV, but there's a lot of things involved when doing real estate. One of the things that a lot of amateurs forget is something called holding cost. And what are holding costs? Well, holding costs are going to be taxes, insurance. You're going to have what they call, utility cost, maintenance. And then if you have if it's an HOA, you're going to have that fee. And those holding costs are going to come in no matter what. And then you're going to have a payment, whether that's to a mortgage, it could be to a private money lender, hard money lender. So those holding costs are going to come in every single month. So it's one of the things that amateurs forget, is just even how to calculate those holding costs, right? And our goal in this business is to get from cash to asset back to cash again as fast as possible. And we're going to show you some systems here today that we use and that we teach other people how to use to get there, to get to cash, the asset, back to cash as fast as possible. Now, tell you a little bit about myself and my business partner, Mike, right? We've been investing in real estate for over the last 15 years. Mike's actually been investing a little bit longer than I have. We've invested anywhere from single family homes to multi-family properties. We've done hundreds and hundreds of transactions over the years. We have a portfolio of successful rental properties in Georgia, right? It's primarily where we own most of our rentals. We have development projects in Salt Lake City right now. We own a property management company where we manage over 100 units. It's actually 95 properties. I want to say it's 135 units right now under management, right? And we teamed up with the Private Money Club, like Steven said, is because a lot of people through the Private Money Club were asking for some education. They wanted to learn more about the active side of the business, and they wanted to make sure they understood, when they lent their money out, hey, is this a good deal? So we teamed with the Private Money Club, and we started performance investing coaching and the bus tour and things like that, where people come spend time with us for 2 full days, and we walk them through our business and hold their hand for 2 days, and it show them how to analyze a deal, how to walk a property. It's one of our top trainings that we have, and a lot of people want to go to it, and we keep it very limited. But I kind of wanted to talk about what's going on in the marketplace right now. I'm sure a lot of us have heard in the news that interest rates have dropped, right? And there's going to be this big push in real estate. And a lot of people believe there is going to be a big push in real estate. And a lot of people believe that, there's going to be, I saw this article on Business Insider, there's going to be a wave of inventory coming, in the next, next couple years for fix and flip investors to get involved in real estate. A lot of things, what's going on today too is, there's a lot of people locked in at that 3%, 2% rate on their mortgage, and they've wanted to, get into a bigger house, and they haven't right now because of the payment. And as you see interest rates go down, some of those people are going to want to sell. And what you're going to see is people, the market's going to gain some momentum here. And you're going to see a lot more people. And I've seen it in the marketplace right now, Stephen, where properties are sitting on the market a lot longer, especially ones that need work. So maybe 2 years ago, they were selling at a higher price, and now you're seeing a lot more price reductions. You're seeing a lot more people who are probably sitting in the market, and motivated sellers are getting more motivated today, which is great because it shows more opportunity for us, more opportunity for a private money club and lenders and investors and people who want to get into this business and fix and flip properties. So we see a huge opportunity in the next 2 years just in this business alone to flip more properties. And then we see another opportunity in the rental business, passive income. Rental properties over the years have always statistically gone up. And when interest rates are high, rents continue to rise. Even if they drop, you're going to see more people who can't afford to get into a home because the interest rates are still kind of high. And you're going to see them still want to rent. How popular is the rental market? Well, Jeff Bezos, Amazon, is actually launching a company just to buy single family homes across the US for rental properties. And I just look at that as that's an opportunity. If people are running hedge funds and billion-dollar hedge funds, seeing opportunity in single family real estate, then we know the opportunity is there. Thing about hedge funds is they move kind of slow. They buy particular properties. We can move a little quicker. We can be a little more creative where they're just very standard and they have a particular way they buy and what they do. And I've actually seen that and actually sold properties to hedge funds. They'll buy only certain types of properties. With investors like us, we can be a little more creative and we can get into deals where they might not touch. How do we make money in real estate? There's two ways. There's the active income side. And what's active income in real estate? That would be flipping properties. That would be doing wholesale deals, right? It could be land development projects, something where you're active in the business, where you're actually putting the project together, you're raising money, you're doing those things. That's active real estate. And then we have passive real estate. And what's that? Well, passive income is owning rental properties where they're managed by someone else, right? Some people think passive income is only rental property and manage it themselves. But sometimes when they're taking phone calls from the tenant at all hours of the night or dealing with repairs or anything like that, that becomes a job. So it's more on the active side, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But passive income is like some of our clients, they own the rental properties. We manage for them. They literally do nothing. All they have to worry about is the rent coming in. I might have to prove something, or there might be a maintenance repair issue that comes up. We take care of that for them, but it truly is passive. And then another passive income stream in real estate is, of course, lending out money, being your own bank, being the lender. So that's very common in real estate. And we work with private money lenders in the private money club and even outside, but mostly in the private money club. There's a reason why we buy real estate. And there's 4 reasons why we buy real estate, especially rental real estate. And I'll explain these reasons to you. One is cash flow, right? That's money coming in every single month, right? The second way is appreciation, right? We know that real estate over the years is going to appreciate, right? Some years it might be up a little higher, some years it might go down. But if you look at it as a cycle over a long period of time, it's going to appreciate. We've seen that, right? The second way, which is a lot of people don't really understand this, is depreciation. And what is depreciation? Well, depreciation is what I call a little gift from the IRS. And what they say you can do is you can depreciate a property like a single family home for 27 and a half years. And to explain that and how that really works, I'll use some very simple math. If you bought a property for $100,000, right? And you divided that property 27 and a half years, $100,000, you divide it to 27 and a half into $100,000, it's going to give you an amount that you can depreciate every single year. And you can depreciate that for that period of time. Now, if you add a capital improvement, right, to the property, or you improve it by adding a roof, AC, right, you can actually add that to your depreciation schedule and depreciate. So if it was $100,000, you added a roof and it was, $10,000 for the roof, well, then you could depreciate the asset at $110,000 from that year you put on the roof. The second is pay down. And this is a big one, principal pay down. This is when you leverage money, right? This is basically another gift from the tenant when they're renting, is that they're actually paying the mortgage payment on the property. So they're paying down the principal. And that's one of the main reasons we love owning rental real estate, is because it pays down, especially when we leverage it with the bank, it's paying down the principal of a long period of time. So the return on that investment goes a lot higher than maybe just buying it straight out in cash, right? So let's talk about one of the main things in our business model that we do is renovations and rehabbing, before and after. And what amateurs and professionals, I use that term because there's a lot of amateurs out there, and then there's professionals who are doing the business, right? And what's that actually look like, right? Amateurs versus professionals. Here you can see this is before, after, right? As you can tell in this after picture, they left the little blue sticker on the dishwasher, which is okay. There's a little garbage bag on the window there. I don't know if I would list it that way, but that's fine, right? You can see some things are missing. This is professionals, before, after, right? So rehabbing. Here's a project we did before, after, right? Very simple process to do, make sure you always get professional photos, but this is what we do, right? This is how you sell probably for top dollar in the market. We have a cookie cutter system of how we do rehabs, and I'll explain that here in a little bit. But what we've done is we have a 7-step system on how to rehab a property, and I'll explain the 7 steps. What's that look like? Well, step 1 is the investor construction process, right? That's where you're actually going to walk through a property and you're going to say, this is what we're actually going to do, right? We're going to knock down this wall. We're going to redo the kitchen, right? We're going to redo the bathrooms, right? Once you have that vision of what you're going to do to the property, you can do this by photos online. Then you're going to do the process of estimating repairs. And what that process is basically you're going to come up with an estimate of repairs of what everything's going to cost, right? How much the roof is going to cost, how much, the flooring is going to cost, the plumbing, redo the bathrooms, paint, right? If you're going to refinish hardwood, tile, all of that. So you're going to come up with that process, and you're going to estimate repairs. Then you're going to do something called what we call a scope of work. And a scope of work it's like a screenplay for a movie, right? This is how the rehab project is going to actually operate, right? We do scope of roofs down to rooms, right? Make sure you paint all the walls, the ceiling, follow the color pattern, laminate LVP floors, change out all the outlets. And we do that to keep it very, very simple, so nothing's ever missed. So we'll create a scope of work. And the reason we estimate the repairs on our end, create the scope of work, is because when we find a contractor, we deal with our contractor, we hand the scope of work of what we want done to the property, and then we help, they're going to start the process of getting bids, right? And what those bids actually look like from a contractor. And then we're going to get into the legal documents that protect yourself. We have 6 critical documents used in every rehab project. These documents, like final lien waiver, insurance indemnification, W-9, right? These are all documents we use to make sure we have filled out before we even start the project. A contractor agreement where it explains to the contractor that, hey, this is what we've agreed on. You're going to agree to do the work in this time frame. If you finish the work early, we give you a bonus. If the project goes over due to circumstances where you can control, we're going to charge you per day, right? Sometimes things they can't control, we understand. Sometimes you have weather delays or, maybe a permitting issue. That's something they can't control, but that contract helps protect us. And then the actual process for construction management. So that's our 7-step system on how we actually rehab properties. This is what project we just finished recently, and it just sold. It sat on the market for 10 days. This is 3108 Commodore. This is before, after, right?
I guess there was one question just on that. They're asking, did you underwrite that deal? What's your entrance and what's your exit look like?
So 3108 Commodore, we bought this. We borrowed money we had first and second lien position. So we borrowed money for the purchase and borrowed money for the rehab, right? We rehabbed this property to sell it on the MLS. It wound up selling over listing price. We sold it VA. The profit on this deal for us was pretty close to $20,000 after paying back the lenders. So it was a good deal. Total time in the deal was from start to finish. It was a 2-month rehab because it was actually 2.5-month rehab. It was a full rehab from top to bottom, new AC, new roof, new flooring, new kitchen, new bathrooms, basically everything new. And it sat on the market. Well, it sat on the market for 10 days and it took about 32 days to close because it was a VA loan. So we were in and out of this deal in under 4 months. Some before and afters. This was the inside before, after. Right, we refinished the floors. What are the different color scheme in this house? This is the kitchen before. And some people might look at this picture and go, oh my God, look at the ceiling. Look at the, and we look at it and we look at it as, hey, there's an opportunity here. After. And bathroom here is before. After. That bathroom was in really bad shape. So in this bathroom too, we wound up filling in the window, right? A lot of people don't like windows in the bathroom, especially in a tight galley bathroom like that. So we filled in that window and then we put a tile surround there. So what I really want to do, Stephen, is kind of walk through a live deal right now. This is one that we just put under contract, right? And I want to show you guys what that actually looks like. This is a deal I found through a wholesaler, right? And what wholesalers do is they go out and actively market properties and they market for deals. So they'll be out marketing and they sell to investors who are going to fix and flip or own as a rental property. So this is a deal I actually found through a wholesaler. And the reason the deal really caught my attention because I know the area that it's in really well. And I knew there's potential in the deal and I knew we could do something with it. So what we did, so when we analyze a deal and how we do this is first, the deal comes to us, we run a quick comps, like what would the deal be worth after it's fixed up? So we had our realtor run some comps on this deal. The purchase price, what the wholesaler wanted on this deal was $101,000, right? We had our realtor run some comps on the deal and the comp analysis came back at 239. So the next thing we need to do is we need to go look at the property, right? And kind of do an estimate of repairs. So when we did that, I'm gonna play a short video for you. This is me walking the property, kind of walking through on, hey, this is what's needed, this is an interior video, not an exterior, but interior video of what the property is. I'll play it for everyone. Now, I took a lot of pictures of this property. This is just a video, but basically just walking through, seeing what needs to be done. I always like to take videos of properties and refer back to them. And then with good pictures, updating. I always test the water and toilet, just see.
That needs to be replaced. Master, it's got a full bath. Needs to be redone.
Interesting stairs there. They go to nowhere.
The scary stairs there. Who knows what you're gonna find?
Very scary.
Not bad.
No. So basically, that's me walking through the interior of the house. There's actually a little sunroom too. The video didn't get.
You ever feel like you don't have control of your real estate business or your money? That's right. The big banks and the institutions, they're in control, right? I know you felt that before. Private Money Club puts you back in the driver's seat. As members often tell us, it's a total game changer. Join the community of like-minded lenders and borrowers by going to privatemoneyclub.com. Sign up.
And then after walking through the house, running the comps, and then you need to, one of the biggest things you want to do is estimate repairs. And what does that actually look like? You know, I think it's probably one of the biggest things where a lot of people, they get into, what is something going to cost, because, you see, purchase for 100,000, you can sell it for 239,000, hopefully on the MLS. What is that actually going to, what are the repairs going to be? And how do we factor that out? So we have a couple different ways we do that. One is we do a napkin analysis of our repairs. So if we were to, we take our average, our last 5 rehabs, and if we're doing a full renovation, right, we have a cost per square foot of what something costs to rehab it, right? So right now we're sitting at about $39 a square foot to rehab a property. And if I was to take the square footage of this property times 39, right? So basically it's 2,100 square feet times $39 a square foot. It's telling me about an $81,000 rehab, right? That's what it should cost if I take my historic average, right? So that's a quick napkin analysis. I know by doing that number, I can say, hey, let's take the next step. So by doing that number, I knew there was still enough profit margin in there for us to get involved in the deal. So then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be a little more detailed with our repairs, right? Now we're going to walk through the property. We're going to look at our photos, and we're going to use our repair estimator to help us estimate repairs very quickly. And you're going to want to be detailed down to, and this is a software I use to help us estimate repairs. And when we show the software, to people who come spend a couple of days with us, but it's very detailed. Labor on the roof, how much materials are going to cost. That's total what the roof is going to cost us. Exterior painting, decks, porches, replacing that big window, the window pane, the labor, what it's actually going to cost to do that. Our landscaping, to do the landscaping, the demo inside, that includes dumpsters and how much is actually going to, cost to demo the property. Drywall repair. We package a kitchen together. We'll teach you how we package kitchen together so you can do a quick analysis, what that actually looks like, labor, materials, appliances, everything. How much the hardwood floor is going to cost us if we do LVP, what that actually looks like, interior painting, the plumbing, all of this as you go through this whole list and you detail the repairs. And once you detail those repairs, one of the biggest things you're going to do is you're going to have what they call, you're going to come up with an amount, and then you're going to want to add something called a contingency. And what is that contingency? It's an allowance, Stephen, that in the property, just in case something was to come up, you're covered. And I see a lot of amateurs get involved in deals where their allowance is not high enough, right? And we don't do it, especially in a renovation where you're doing a full renovation, the minimum allowance we'll do is 10%. If it's a bigger project, it's 15% that you'll add to that number. So basically in this renovation, from the numbers I've ran so far, and I'm in the process of getting the bid from the contractor, for numbers I ran so far, the allowance is $8,600, right? The key in this is being able to walk a property quick, do a quick estimate of repairs, put it under contract with due diligence. Once you put it under contract with due diligence, and you have time to get your more detailed estimates. But I know the estimate I came up with was 8,600, which total estimate of repairs is going to be 71. And by my factor of doing the price per square foot, 81,000, I know it's still a good deal. I think this is where a lot of people get hung up, is the repairs, right? How to actually estimate repairs quickly, where they feel confident of how to say, hey, is this a good deal? And then another hurdle they have is how do I work with contractors? The people who have, I've seen work really well with contractors because they understand the process and they have systems in place to deal with the contractors. Where things go a little haywire is there's no system in place, and a rehab project that should take 2 months takes 6 months because they're not on top of the contract. They're not following a system. They're paying too early. They're paying too much. The one thing we've learned about contractors is they love to be paid, but don't pay unless work's been done. Right? That's probably one of the biggest things. And how do you make sure you have systems in place, right? You have a payment schedule that we use on every project, and that payment schedule is detailed. If you finish the paint, we'll pay you for the paint, but it's got to be finished. If you finish the drywall, we'll pay you for the drywall. Same thing with plumbers, electricians, HVAC, it's all the same. We have that payment schedule laid out, so we know exactly what we're paying upon work that's completed, right? So Those are two of the biggest things I see when talking to investors or people just getting started. Is their biggest fear is just how to estimate repairs and how to deal with the contractors. And people that spend a couple of days with us, those fears go away because of the confidence that they have when they actually walk a property using our system with no construction experience at all, and how they can nail repair estimates, right? Within $2,000 or $3,000. I think the last time, Stephen, the students had a repair estimate, they were $3,000 off from what our estimate was.
That's awesome.
Which is pretty cool. And two of the students have never done any renovations at all ever before. A couple of them own some rental properties and done renovations in the past. So that was pretty cool to see, like, them walk a property by themselves after spending some time with us and be able to estimate repairs and be that close to where they felt, okay, this was a good deal. Learning how to do the ARV is easy. The comps, we show you to pull comps, and you can pull it off Redfin or realtor.com. And of course, more accurate is a CMA. And then that's what that looks like. So on this deal, the wholesaler actually accepted $94,000, right? So our projected profit on this deal, because we're using all cash, is going to be about $51,000 for this deal right here. That's projected. And we'll be able to do 2 or 3 of these at once. So we're doing 2 or 3 projects at once like this. So that's the power of having a system, walking through a property, understanding it, because you can scale up your business. You're not spending so much time on a property that might not be a good deal. You're looking for good deals, you're analyzing them quickly, and you're finding the good ones.
Yeah, I mean, how many people on here feel like if you had this system, these tools, you knew what to look for, how to walk through and put it into this, how many of you feel like you could go out there and do a real estate deal? And what is holding you back? If it's the money side of it, well, that's what Private Money Club is for, is to provide the private lenders and the ability to be able to, have the money to do that. So as long as you have your numbers, the confidence, that's what this is all about. I mean, how many of you feel like you could do that after spending a couple days with Mike and learning this? And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Mike, just a couple questions here.
Yeah, let's open up for questions, definitely.
How do you choose properties based on hurricanes or floods or things like that? I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you can do, like, if you're going to pick a property in a flood zone, you have to understand that there's certain types of insurance that are needed. You're going to factor that into the cost. And when people buy those in those zones, they got to understand that. Hurricanes, I used to live in Florida. I live in Georgia now. But hurricanes in Florida, I mean, I think people understand, that there's a possibility a hurricane could hit Florida. Being from Fort Myers, they had a devastating hurricane go through there. Of course, Fort Myers is Cape Coral and Naples, they're being rebuilt. And, I went through Charlie there years and years ago, and it is devastating. But staying away from some of those areas in Florida might be difficult. In Georgia, we do have some flood zones, and some lenders, they might not lend in a flood zone, or they want flood insurance, which is a higher expense. So you have to just do your research before understanding the type of zone that you're in and what can actually, what entails in investing in that area, I think is the best advice I can give someone.
Let's see, is there a happy medium in hitting the market when it's declining? When is the right time to invest in property in troubled or volatile markets? What are your thoughts on?
There's always that person that says, man, I wish I had done this 2 months ago. I wish I would have bought that property. There's certain things we can't control. And one of the things I think, and this is just my personal opinion, talk to some other investors, we don't know where interest rates are going to be in 3 months. We have no idea. We have an idea. We can speculate. We know they're coming down, how fast they're going to come down, or what that's going to look like, and what that's going to do to the market. I will tell you this, that if you buy the property right, and it doesn't matter what the market's doing, you'll make money. That's the key, is buying it right, analyzing the deal right. Every deal that we do, especially today, I look at a couple different things. I look at 2 to 3 ways out of every deal, right? So the first way I look at is can I wholesale the property? Let's say I was to buy it, I get it cheap enough, or I get a good discount on it. Can I wholesale it to another investor, make a quick profit, not worry about it? The second way I look at it is, if I rehab it, what can I sell it on the MLS for? And the third way is, let's say something does change. Let's say, I can't sell it for the price I want to. Can I rent the property out, refinance and rent the property out? So when you have a system like that, or you have a couple different ways out of every single deal you do, you're a lot safer. And the key to real estate is being safe. And how do you be safe? Education, analyzing properly, and understanding your exit strategies, I think, is one of the biggest things.
Yeah, I mean, and then, how you acquire properties, some of the marketing might change. If we start running into, people that are in trouble behind on payments, we start looking at creative ways to help them through different short sale options and working with the banks. Foreclosures really start to increase, which we're already starting to see some of. Then you start looking at, different ways to acquire properties through foreclosure, and that strategy. So it just depends on, what's going on. But like Mike said, I mean, that all goes into the equation at the beginning. So you allow for, if you plan on having to sell for less, or, but it's all about where you buy that property at. And as long as the numbers make sense, no matter what the market's doing, that's what it's all about.
I mean, yeah, 100%, Stephen. I mean, we are now stepping up our marketing. We do direct mail. We've been cold calling. We've been finding deals to deal with our wholesalers. And now we're going to run a TV ad in Macon. We're going to test out to see what happens. I know some other investors that run TV ads in their other marketplace, and they get some really good deals. And that's the key, is finding the good deals, and that's what we want to teach our students and people how to do, is really how to find these deals and how to analyze them quickly, so it's a good deal.
You're just asking, what is the percent annualized and what do you charge to manage a property? If we have a property outside Georgia, can you manage it? You guys only are managing right around there, right?
I can only manage properties in Georgia, and that's where our business is. We are licensed in Georgia. We have a real estate broker part of our company, and we in Georgia have to be licensed to be a property manager. So we actually had an investor ask us to manage a property in Alabama. We said we can't. You have to be licensed in Alabama to register manage a property there. Excuse me.
Do we want to hit real fast, kind of, Mike, like what we have coming up and what we're doing? With how you're going to spend a couple of days with people and stuff like that, and then we can, finish up some Q&A here.
Absolutely. What I want to get into is, what clients and students have come to before is what we call our bus tour or full immersion, and what that entails, right? It's 12
in case anybody has to
modules.
hop off or anything at the top. I just want to, I want to make sure everybody understands how we're here to help you guys moving forward. So
Yeah, this is our two full day immersion with us in our bus tour, right? This is where we actually sit down with you for 2 full days. And basically we gave you the keys to our business. And when I say that, the keys of how we, we're going to open up our business for you. This is how we do deals. This is how we estimate a project. We have 12 different modules, right, that we actually walk through step by step. And we actually teach you, right, whether you've done 100 deals or no deals, you will gain something from this, where you'll walk away with some confidence of analyzing your next deal, or just buying your first project or buying your 100th, right? We're going to get into how to master your market and what that actually looks like, right? Master your market objective in this is learn what buyers want and expect, right? It's something that, where to buy, right? I think that was one of the questions, is where do I buy properties? Where do I stay away from? Risk management, tools available for you, right? What that actually looks like. Then we're going to get into building your power team. And this is probably one of the biggest things, is how to build a power team. And what's on your power team? Well, a couple of different things. So you're going to have, of course, your contractors, your realtors, your closing attorneys, or title agents, right? Those are all people on your power team. They're going to do the business with you. We're also going to talk about how to build good networking skills. There are other little local real estate clubs in your area. We're a member of some. It's good to network with other investors, see what's going on. And you don't need to be experts. You just want to surround yourself with people who are, and that's part of your power team, right? I understand how to close on a property, but I'm not closing on the property. The attorney is, right? I even let the attorney writes, when we borrow money from the private money club and lenders, the attorney does everything. They write the promissory note. They make sure the mortgage is filed properly, everything, right? They handle everything. That's what they get paid for, right? And I love it, right? That gives me time to focus on our business. Our realtors sell the properties for us. I'm not listing for us by owner, trying to save the 6%. That's just, I'd rather be looking for more deals, right? We're also going to get into, funding projects, right? Now with the private money club, that's awesome, right? We have funding available right here. There's other resources out there like hard money lenders, right? We'll get into creative financing like Stephen was talking about, of, hey, People are going through foreclosures. How can we help them out? There's some creative strategies out there where sometimes you can do something called subject to, right? Things like that where you get into a property with really very little money down. I think one of the biggest thing is too how to educate lenders, right? How to present yourself as a credible borrower, right? I know in Noah's training, he talks about that, how to lend and how to borrow and what that actually looks like. We get into how to educate yourself and how to be credible in your marketplace. Even if you've had no experience in borrowing money, right? Putting a proper plan together, having all the numbers will make you look credible in that. Then we're going to get into marketing, right? And this is probably one of the biggest things in real estate right now is how to find good deals, right? We're going to get into, the foundations needed for marketing, what that actually looks like. We're also going to get into low cost strategies, even how to find deals off of Craigslist, right? We're going to get into, tracking your marketing, right? If something's working, how's it working? We have direct mail campaigns set up. We track them by phone number, right? So in our tracking, we invest this much money into marketing. We look at how many deals we get off that investment. Excuse me. If something's not working, we make a quick adjustment. Desktop analysis. This is what I was talking about before, Stephen, how we're going to get into how to analyze deals right from your desktop, right? By sometimes just looking at the pictures. Is it really worth me going out there and taking a look at the property, right? Getting the right information from the seller, right? All of that, right? Establishing a ballpark and an ARV. You can do that with just looking at, realtor.com. You talk to your realtor, pull a quick CMA. We're going to teach you how to do that, right? Understanding repairs. Like I said before, this is ballpark. We're going to get into how to estimate repairs real quickly, like I talked about, where you can walk a property in 20 minutes. You have a general idea what that repair cost could be. We're going to make sure we have a repair estimator that we use. You have access to that, right? Excuse me, anyone can use it. It's very easy to use. And then key numbers in making an offer, right? Analyzing projects. We're going to teach you how to finalize the ARV and a repair estimate. This is where you're actually going to walk through a detail. You're going to get, bids from your contractor. Once you get those bids from your contractor, you're going to finalize the ARV from your realtor. Then you're going to calculate your offer price. This is what we're going to offer. And then we're going to get into what the profit's actually going to look like. How to submit offers, common terms and documentation you're going to use. We're going to teach you about, contingencies, what we're looking for, some things you can put in an offer, what that looks like, and always being safe. Here's a beautiful thing I love about real estate, Stephen. When you make an offer and you have due diligence, you tie up that property now, right? Now you have your time to where you can go through that property and say, listen, this is a great deal. I want to move forward. Hey, we did our estimate repairs. We had an inspection done. Some things came up. We can come back and renegotiate with the seller. And if the seller wants to accept it, great. If they don't, we can and now exit out of that deal and move on, right? And it's a great way. That's what I love about, being safe and strategic, right? We're going to talk about wholesalers, how you can wholesale, one of the exit strategies, right? What to actually do. This is a way where people get into real estate using very little money, sometimes no money and no credit. We'll talk about we'll talk about rental properties, what that looks like, rehabs, right? What that process, we're going to go through that 7-step process of actually how to rehab a property, and then rental properties. I think, there's a lot of investors out there who want to get into real estate and they just want to own some rentals. They'll flip a couple properties just to buy a rental property because they want that long-term passive income. We'll analyze and show you the KPIs, which are key performance indicators. We look into a rental property, right? How you can acquire rental properties and the benefits you may not be aware of actually owning a rental property. I think the last bus tour we had, one of the students actually bought a rental property. They bought a turnkey rental, right? That we now manage from. They're hands off and they love it. And then we're going to give you some resources. You're going to have access to our video on demand course. You're going to have access to all the tools we use, our repair estimator, how to make an offer, our deal analyzer, everything is going to be there for you. And then you'll have us, we have a 30-minute, an hour coaching before, and then we do an hour coaching after with you, where we kind of prepare you for the bus tour. And then afterwards, we go through some action items.
I love it, man. It's you know, you got to ask yourself, like, what's the plan, you know, this year, next year? What if we hit some financial hard times? What if you lose your job? Like, are you in a position to, you know, still handle, like, now's such a great time to learn this business, learn how to go out there and actively be able to generate, you know, revenue, income for yourself, profits. And, you know, if you don't have a lot of money built up where you can get on the lender side and start having your money work for you, you need to get out there and hustle and earn this money. And, you know, what you guys have done, Mike, was sharing all of your experience, all the systems, all the tools that you've perfected, you know, exactly how this is done, just in a step-by-step manner. It's, I mean, I've never seen anything like that. You combine that with the power of, you know, having the money available to you through the Private Money Club community. So now you have the education, you have your experience, you have the tools, the systems, you know what you're doing, the confidence to go out there and do that. And now you have the ability to have the money because of Private Money Club. Like, you know, what are you going to be able to accomplish this year by doing that? And so, you know, we have this bus tour coming up February 3rd and 4th with you guys. It makes all the sense in the world. And, you know, if you are on the lending side, the money side of this, where you want to start lending, doing private money lending, well, how do you know that the borrowers you're lending to are evaluating deals the right way? How would you like to be able to double check their numbers and have some knowledge? So even if you're a lender, like, go spend a couple days with Mike and learn this. So that way you're just that much more educated. You're protecting your money that much more. So
That's a great point, Stephen. I mean, me personally, in our business this year, we've invested over $30,000 in coaching just in our business. We joined a high-level mastermind. We joined another coaching program, more deal with marketing to understand marketing. That's just us personally, right? And we know without making an investment like that, we're never going to take our business to the next level, right? And we've done a lot of real estate and we own a lot of rental properties. And I understand the business, but I want to learn more, you know, and I know that's going to help us elevate our business to go to the next level. And the beautiful part about this is, you know, it's not going to cost $30,000, right? You know, that's something we invested in some very high level programs with high level, you know, operators and marketing experts and a high level mastermind. You know, we're going to spend 2 days. It's going to be in Atlanta, right at the airport, near the airport. It's 2 days. It's 1 day in the classroom. And then we actually jump on a bus and we go down to Macon, and you're going to walk projects with us. We're going to walk 3 types of properties. We're going to walk a property that is just starting, so it's going to look really bad. You're going to walk a property that's in the middle. Then you're going to analyze your own project, right? This is a property where you're going to walk through and do the estimate of the repairs, right? The last time we did this was really eye-opening for a lot of people because they learned a lot, excuse me. And they actually went out in the field and they estimated, you could just see the confidence build for them to get out in the field, right? And then if we have time, we'll show you a property that we just finished that's listed on the MLS.
yeah, very cool. So a couple of questions about contractors. Lisa was asking, do you have your own crew or are you contracting the stuff out?
We do enough business. We have our own crew. Well, it's a subcontractor, but he does most of our projects. But I have professionals. The one thing I've learned is having professionals. So I have electricians, plumbers, right? HVAC people. I have all those people. And I recommend everyone, you deal with those professionals, right? They come do the electrical, they do I have my plumber do the plumbing. If an HVAC, of course, HVAC tech, things like that. And then I have a general contractor that handles the painting, the drywall, the flooring, you know, cabinets. I have a granite person, and we teach you how to find those people. So we kind of like string it. So because a professional come in and it's just, they knock it out, right? There's no time delay. And we stage that. That's that part of that construction process. We talk about how to actually put this all together so it all flows.
So what's the turnaround time like generally, and how do you, again, find real solid general contractors who will follow your system?
Great question. I'll give you guys a little secret. We're going to go over 5 different ways on how to find great contractors. One of the little secrets that I use, and I know it's going to be pretty obvious, is Home Depot. When you go to Home Depot, I talk to the pro desk. Hey, who's in here buying a lot of materials? You know, who do you see, you know, that's always in here? They're always working. You don't want to, I mean, you want a contractor that's busy. They're not so busy they can't get to you, but busy enough where they want a little more business, right? We're also going to go over some other ways to find contractors without going to Home Depot, right? And the key about a contractor is there's a lot of contractors out there. It's just you having the education on how to deal with the contractor. Is this a fair bid? You know, what's this actually look like? One of the biggest hurdles for a lot of people is a contractor. We do not give 50% up on a job, right? There's no money up front, very little depending on the project because we buy our own materials, right? So we're in control from day one, and we're going to teach that how you can do that where you're actually in control, because we're not giving money up front. We're paying upon work that's completed, right? And what we've learned over the years, you know, if a contractor after day one of doing work saying, hey, I need to be paid, that's not a good contractor, right? They should be able to finish what they're working on, completion to satisfactory, sign a lien waiver, and we pay them.
Do you see a big labor cost difference between Georgia and properties that you have in other areas?
Yeah, I mean, of course, up in New York, you know, up in the Northeast, the labor is higher, the cost of living is higher. You know, it just really depends. I would say the Southeast, Florida labor is a little higher. We're actually doing a project in Florida right now. I've got one going on. Labor is a little bit higher, but also the demand in Florida is a lot higher, so that drives up the labor price. But Georgia, the demand in Georgia is high too. Georgia was in the top 5 states in the nation for people to move to. Actually, South Carolina was number 1 last year. So, and Georgia, I think, was number 4. So there's a demand here for people moving and finding good contractors, you know, and paying. You know, I've seen labor costs go up a little bit, but it's definitely higher in some different parts of the country.
Very good. Let's see. One more came in here. David saying, my biggest concern is how do I find properties at 70% of ARV rehab cost?
Great question. How do you find it? I mean, you just have to analyze deals, right? You have to make offers. You have to analyze deals, and you can't just make lowball offers. You have to analyze deals, and you have to and to find those deals, you're going to either work with wholesalers or market yourself, right? A lot of those deals are going to come off market, and we talk about that, you know, how to find off market deals. That's where we get our 70%, you know, below 70% is a lot of off market stuff.
All right, cool. So over in the chat box, I put just some a couple links in there. So if anybody, you know, wants to go ahead and get signed up, I think we have, what do we have? Maybe like 3 or 4 spots left, I think, for this one coming up in February. So it's February 3rd and 4th is the next one. I'm not sure when we'll do another one after that, probably in the summer. So you don't want to wait on that because this market's changing and now's the time to get educated. So figure it out. But if you do need to find other dates or anything like that, just give us a shout. I put a link in there where you can schedule a call with our team so they can answer any questions you have. You know, we do have some bundle discounts available. So if you wanted to, you know, do this with Private Money Club Premier or Accelerator, something like that, just schedule a call and we can definitely take care of you. But for everybody that's on here right now, just know that this investment is going to include, you know, the 2 days. Mike's going to give you some stuff ahead of time. We have some on-demand videos. He's got a whole home study course that goes along with the 2 days. So you guys are going to get all that. And then what we decided to do was we encourage you to work with a business partner, a spouse, you know, an adult child, something like that. So, you know, it is good for you and somebody else. So the ticket for this is good for 2 people. So you can bring a guest for free, essentially. And then we're going to give you $1,000 travel voucher. So you can use that for airline tickets or hotel room, just your expenses, you know, over that weekend. So we'll let you bring somebody with you, $1,000 off for that travel discount. And then you can go right to the link there. It's privatemoneyclub.com/performance investing. Just click enroll now, sign up now, and get that all taken care of. If you do have any questions or anything like that, though, definitely schedule a call with our team. I put the link there to schedule a call, or you can just shoot us an email, support@privatemoneyclub.com.
Yeah, and even, you know, I would schedule a call with the team, you know, and just talk to them, and they can sit down with you and just really say, you know, go over a lot more detail. I know we had a short period of time here tonight where they can spend some quality time with you, you know, and like as Steven said, even if it's not this one, I mean, hey, the sooner the better, of course, right? But at least schedule a call with them and talk to them. If you're serious about even your real estate business, buying rental properties, lending your money, get educated. You know, get the education to understand how the process works. And like I always said, learn from my mistakes. You know, we're doing this over 15 years and we've made some mistakes, and you can shortcome that process by learning from mistakes and understanding how the system works.
Yep, absolutely. That's gonna be awesome. And the first one you guys did towards the end of last year, I know was a huge success, and everybody that was there, absolutely loved it. And so looking forward to this next one in February, and getting those on here that really want to, get into this business and learn this business to do it the right way. And it's hard to teach real estate investing. You think of investing and you think of like the stock market, things like that, but a real estate investor, it's a business. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. And so, being able to spend a couple of days with you with all the other resources and everything that you give them, along with that, I mean, I don't know how people do it without some kind of coaching. And, I've learned the hard way over the years, you're going to spend the money one way or another. You're either going to spend it in mistakes and learning the hard way, a school of hard knocks, or you're going to learn it from a coach, from a mentor, from somebody that takes you under their wing, and you're going to, you're going to pay for it that way. So you're going to pay for it either way. To me, it just makes sense to do it the right way from the very beginning, have your mentorship and have you guys, from 15 plus years of experience, showing you how it's done. So.
Absolutely. And listen, I love this business, and I love it, and I'm fully immersed in it. I mean, it's in my blood now. But some people come to us and they just want to flip a couple properties. They just want some extra income. They want to flip a couple properties, buy a couple rentals, and they're happy. And that's cool. And there's some people who just come to us and say, Mike, I really want to learn the ins and outs. I just want to lend my money, but I want to make sure that the person I'm lending to is estimating the repairs right. The best lenders in real estate, the best lenders I've ever dealt with, especially privately, were always investors first. A lot of them, right? And they made a lot of money and they just start lending it out, or they, use creative strategies. And then there's, we've had some students come to us where, one, Mauricio and his wife, Cynthia, they started and, they came to us and they're kind of on the fence, and now it's a full-time business for him. She's a realtor. He's an investor. They're flipping properties. They've bought a couple rentals. It's a full-time business for them now. So they're happy. So I think it's one of those things where it doesn't matter where you want to go, just learning, you can take it at any level you want.
I love it, man. And Ace Patel, if you're out of the country in February, you can't make those dates, just give us a shout and we'll get you set up and taken care of. And what we can do is we can get you some of the pre-education, some of the home study course and some of the resources now, so you can start learning. And then we'll just get you to the 2-day full immersion, as soon as it works out for your schedule. So no worries there at all. All right, cool, Mike. I think we hit all the questions there. Looks like we got some people that are reaching out. So you guys let us know if we can help with anything. Appreciate everybody being on here this evening. Hopefully you got something out of this, and we look forward to working with all you guys.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, Stephen. I look forward to working with anyone and everyone, but hope to see you at the bus tour.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you guys soon. We have all 3 webinars tomorrow. What the F Wealth webinar, Ask Me Anything. Join us for those, and get signed up for the class for February. See you then.